Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. Sorry for the delay. We are discussing from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and last time we discussed how Krishna, when he came to Mathura, and when he entered Mathura, all the Mathuravasis, they were so very surprised. They were so very excited to see the beautiful form of Krishna. And Krishna went to, first of all, he went to a cloth maker, and he asked, actually, he went to a washerman. He asked for some cloths, but this washerman did not give him. So Krishna, he actually cut off the head of that washerman, and then he went to a florist, a garland maker, and this garland maker, he gave such a wonderful garland made up of various colors. And Krishna was so very happy, and he bestowed so many wonderful blessings on this garland maker. And he asked that please ask something in return. So this florist, this Sudama florist, he asked that I don't want anything material. My family, my birth is purified just by your presence. So therefore, please give me three things. Please give me unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Please give me the chance to serve all the living entities, and chance to associate with you, with your devotees. So when Krishna, he heard such wonderful prayers, he offered all the wonderful benedictions, and then he proceeded. So then in the 42nd chapter, which we'll be discussing today, so as now Krishna is walking on the road in Mathura. So Krishna is known as Madhava. This 42nd chapter is entitled The Breaking of the Sacrificial Bow. So he saw a young hunchbacked woman. So this hunchbacked woman, she was young, she was having a very attractive face, and she was carrying fragrant ointments for King Kamsa. So as Krishna and Balram, they saw this lady, hunchback lady, Krishna smiled and he inquired something. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that Kubja, he was carrying various ointments, just like sandalwood ointments and so many different ointments. So Krishna is described as Rasa Prada. Rasa Prada means one who is the giver of rasa. So Krishna, he was expert in reciprocation of various rasas. To Kubja, he reciprocated with conjugal rasa. With his cowherd friends, he reciprocated with his hasya rasa. And and all the general public, they were completely astonished. They were in Vismay rasa. I hope everybody is able to hear. Am I audible clearly to everybody?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, you're audible.
Okay. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that actually Kubja was an expansion of Satyabhama. And who is Satyabhama? Satyabhama is Bhumi Devi. She is an expansion of Bhu Shakti. So it is described that the earth is one of the expansions of Satyabhama, and Kubja represented this earth. And because the Mother Earth was overburdened by the demoniac powers, so this Kubja, because of the burden of the demoniac kings, she was bent over because of the burden of thousands of evil kings and asuras. So in the purport, it is described that Krishna descends in this world to remove all these adharmic kings. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. And therefore his pastime of straightening the body of Kubja, hunchback Kubja. Her name is not written as Kubja here. Her name is, she herself will tell her name as Trivakra. So when Lord Krishna, he saw this beautiful lady, he asked, who are you? Katvam vararo etad anulepanam कस्याङ्गणे वा कथयस्य साधुवः देह्यावयोरङ्गविलेपमुत्तमं श्रेयस्ततस्तेन चिरात् भविष्यति. So Krishna is asking, Katum, who are you? Oh, beautiful thighed one. So actually, it is not a joke which Krishna is making on this lady, because this lady was so very ugly looking, hunchback, and that's why Krishna is making fun of that lady. No, it was not the case. Actually, Krishna was about to make her beautiful. That's why Krishna is calling the lady as Vararo, Vararo, oh beautiful thighed one. So he asks, who are you, oh lady? And who is this ointment for? For whom you are getting this ointment? Please give us some of the ointment which you are taking, and in return you will get a wonderful benediction. So this maid servant, she was a maid servant. So she replied, oh handsome one, I am the servant of King Kamsa, and the ointments which I make is liked by King Kamsa very much. And as far as I am concerned, my name is Trivakra. And actually, who else but you to deserve my ointments? Because this ointment is meant for the kings, and you are the king of, all the Brajvasis. So therefore, this ointment, actually you only deserve these ointments. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that, Trivakra indicates that she was bent in three places. Trivakra, at her neck, chest, and waist. So she was completely bent. So actually, what she is telling to Krishna, she's telling, I am just engaged in preparing bodily ointments for Kamsa, nothing more. I have no physical relationship with Kamsa. I am pure in my body. So that's why she is telling, and I am just involved in making ointments for Kamsa. And she calls Krishna as O handsome one. O handsome one means she is having conjugal desires for Krishna. But to cover up her conjugal desires, uh, she's calling both of them by the word yuam to cover up her desire only for Krishna. And then she says, Rupa Peshal Madhurya Hasitala Pavikshate Dharshitaatma Dadau Sandram Ubhayoranulepanam. So when Krishna's beauty, his words, his charm, sweetness, smile, all these things were the beautiful glances, they completely overwhelmed the mind of Trivakra. And in this way, Trivakra, she gave all the ointment which she was taking for Kamsa to Krishna and Balram. She anointed both of them with wonderful cosmetics according to the color. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that Krishna was black in color. So Trivakra, she put yellow ointments on Krishna, and Balram was blue in color. Krishna was black in color, so she put yellow ointments, and Balram was white in color, so she put blue ointments on Balram. So in this way, she beautified, decorated. Already Krishna is supreme embodiment of beauty, but by putting all these ointments, he became all the more beautiful. It is very, very significant that Trivakra, this lady, she is not at all fearful of Kamsa. That was the qualification of Trivakra to get the mercy of Krishna. Although, we have heard in the 7th canto, it is described that Gopya Kamad Bhayat Kamso Dveshya Chaidyadayo Nripa Sambandha Drishnaya Sneha Yuyam Bhaktya Vayam Vibho. Narad Muni is telling to Yudhishthir Maharaj that various people have attained Krishna in various feelings, various emotions. Gopis out of lust, they attained Krishna. Kamsa out of fear attained Krishna. Shishupal out of envy attained Krishna. And although the lust of the gopis is completely pure, it is spiritual, but this lust of Kubja, although it is tainted with material lust, but still, so Nectar of Devotion describes that the lust of Kubja was kama praya. It was having a tinge of material lust. But she also got purified because she came in touch with Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj, he offers his beautiful prayers to Nrsimhadev and he says, Naivatmana prabhurayam nijanava purno manam janada vidusha karuno vrinite yad yad jano bhagavate vidhita manam tachatmane pratimukhasya yatha mukhashri. So it is described that Supreme Lord, He is Nija Labha Purna, He is self-satisfied completely. He does not need anything from any of us. People, they think why we should offer to the Lord. Does He need something from us? Actually, He is Nija Labha Purna. He is Atmaram, Purnakam. Whatever He desires automatically gets fulfilled. He does not need anything from us. But ignorant people, they think like this. But on the contrary, we should understand that if we offer something to Krishna, then we get benefited. Just like if you decorate the mirror, decorate yourself, the mirror image automatically gets decorated. So by giving Krishna something, we get benefited. Just like watering the root of the tree, putting food in the stomach. So when this lady, Trivakra, she offered this ointments to Krishna and Balram with such love and devotion, she got such a wonderful benediction. Padbhyam akramya prapade driyangulithan panina pragriha chibuke dhyatman udani namaduchyutah. So Krishna, he was so very pleased, he decided to straighten that hunchback girl, just to demonstrate what is the result of seeing him. Just having darshan of Krishna is so very purifying. So what he did, he put his feet on the toes of Trivakra, both his feet on the toes of Trivakra, and with both his hands, he put his pointing finger below his chin and straightened her body. Actually, Chakravarti Thakur, just by the touch of Krishna, Trivakra got purified. And she was transformed into a very beautiful lady. And the act of straightening the push, body by the fingers, it was just external. Just by the touch, Krishna purified and beautified that lady Trivakra. That was the main reason. The touch was the main reason. And pulling her body was just the secondary reason. So because just by one of the potencies of Krishna, Krishna can do anything. Just by desiring something, Krishna can fulfill all the desires. So now, endowed with such beauty, Trivakra, she started becoming lusty. And she started becoming lusty towards Krishna. So she smiled and addressed the Lord. She said, "Oh Krishna, let us go to my home. I cannot bear to leave you here. Please come to my home. You are the Supreme Lord, oh best of the males. Please take pity on us, since you have agitated my mind." So Krishna is asking, why you are calling me at your home? Is it the purpose of dining? You want to feed me something? So Trivakra says, actually, I cannot leave you here. Krishna may say, but by your words, you are making such bold statements in front of everybody. People around will misunderstand you. She says, I cannot think anything now. I am so very agitated, and that is not my problem. You have touched me. You have made the mistake of touching me. My mind has been disturbed. It is not my fault. Please come to my place. So Krishna is surrounded by Balram and all the cowherd boys. So Krishna looked at Balram and all the cowherd boys and replied to her. He said, actually, now I cannot come to your place. I have some purpose to fulfill. After I fulfill that purpose, then I'll come to your place. Then I'll satisfy your desire. So then after that, leaving her, with the sweet words, Krishna, he left and he was moving around in the city. All the merchants, when they saw the beauty of Krishna, they started reciprocating with him by, offering so many of the wonderful presentations. They were offering garlands, betel nut, and all the fragrant substances. And everybody was so very happy just by looking at the beauty of Krishna. All the city women, they became agitated just by looking at the beauty of Krishna. That's how Krishna is so very beautiful. No one can avoid being attracted to Krishna. Why we are not getting attracted to Krishna? Why we are still getting attracted to the things and the people of the world? Because we have still not tasted the beauty of Krishna. And it is not that we have to see with our eyes to get attracted. Just by hearing, we can get attracted. Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara shanvatam te nirvishya karna vivarai harato angatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akilartha labham tvayachyuta vishati chittama patra. Rukmini Devi, Rukmini Devi is telling, Shrutva Gunan, oh my Lord, I have heard about your glories. Just by hearing your glories, I have become attracted to you. Oh Krishna, please accept me as your wife. I have heard about it. Same was the case of Brahman Patnis. They had heard about Krishna. That's why they were getting attracted to Krishna. So, and it is described, Nishadyamana patibhir bhratrivi bandhivi sutai Bhagavati uttama shloke dirgha shruta dhritashaya. They had heard about Krishna for a long, long time. So if we want to get attracted to Krishna, we have to try to hear attentively, chant attentively. That's the beginning of our connection with Krishna. That's how we can expect one day to get some taste for the process of hearing and chanting. So Krishna, after accepting all the wonderful gifts from the brahmanas and the merchants, moved ahead, and the city women, they were becoming so very agitated. Chakravarti Thakur describes that these ladies of Mathura, they immediately experienced the symptoms of conjugal love. They were great devotees of the Lord. And he describes that, in any ordinary mundane love, when a Cupid attacks a person, when a man is agitated, when a person is agitated by lust, he goes through 10 stages. He says, first, chakshurag. Just by looking at the eyes of the opposite gender, a man becomes completely attracted. And then chitta sangaha. He desires intense attachment. His mind becomes attached to that person. Chakshurag, chitta sanga, then sankalpa. He becomes very, very determined to achieve that, get that person. And then, as happens in all the movies, nidra cheda, loss of sleep. He's not able to sleep also. Nindini ari. And then he loses his appetite also. Tanuta, he becomes emaciated. And then what happens? He becomes, apparently he is disinterested in anything external. विषय निवृत्ति हो जाती. He becomes completely detached from anything of the world. It seems that he has become a pakka renunciant, but he has not become a renunciant. He has only one thing in his mind, and that's why he is completely detached from the other things. And then he becomes completely shameless. Trapa nashaha. He can do anything without any shame to achieve the beloved. And then unmad, madness. That is the 8th stage. 9th stage is murcha. Sometimes he becomes so very overwhelmed with emotions. He can get fainted also. And in the extreme cases, one may die also in separation. For each of the stages of attack of Cupid, you can find one of the Bollywood songs. So that's how the lust attacks a person. And Chakravarti Thakur writes that these ladies, they were pure devotees of the Lord, and when pure devotees have conjugal affection for Krishna, they may go through the first 9 stages, but they don't die because it is inauspicious. So therefore, all the ladies, they were such great devotees. Immediately, they developed the feelings of ecstasy. Now, after that, Krishna, he wanted to go to the place where this sacrificial bow was kept. So he asked a few local people, and he went to the place where this sacrificial bow was kept. It resembled like a bow of Indra, huge bow. And this bow was guarded by many, many strong men. They were worshipping the bow and they were protecting the bow. And Krishna, he's such a wonderful, fearless warrior, as we'll see in this episode. He immediately, without being stopped by anybody, although people were stopping, but he didn't stop. Although he was being stopped by all the guards, but he didn't stop. He went directly to this bow and lifted that bow. Guards in anger, they tried to stop him, but still Krishna did not stop. And in front of everyone, Krishna lifted that bow, strung that bow, and broke it into two. Just as a very, very strong elephant, he breaks a stalk of a sugarcane. It was as simple for Krishna to break that bow, which was so very powerful. When the bow broke, the sound of this bow, breaking of this bow, filled the entire universe. It went up to Antariksha, up to heaven, and then expanded all over the Bhumandal. It was a very, very powerful bow. And Kamsa, he heard this. He was completely struck with terror. He sent few of the military forces to, catch Krishna. Krishna, he killed all the contingent of the soldiers sent by Kamsa. And then he left that place. He continued to walk, and all the citizens of Mathura, because they had seen now the power of Krishna and Balram, they were already overwhelmed by the beauty, by the boldness, by the strength of Krishna and Balram. And now they had heard so much, now they had seen the exhibition personally. So they started thinking maybe they are two prominent devatas who have come. And then Shukdev Goswami says that the prediction of the gopis came true. You know, so what was the prediction of the gopis? Gopyo mukunda vigame virahaturaya ashashata shisharita madhupurya bhuvan sampashyatam purusha bhushana gatra lakshmi hitvetaranu chakame Shri. So Krishna, after doing all these things, breaking the bow and then bewildering everybody and killing the soldiers, they went out of the city, Krishna and Balram, and they went to their encampment where all the cowherd men and the boys, they were staying outside the village in a camp. So Shukdev Goswami described that, Gopyo Mukunda Vigame, when Krishna was leaving Mathura, all the gopis, they were in separation. Viraha Turava. Evam Bruvanam Viraha Turabhrisha Vrajastriya Krishna Vishakta Manasah Visrajya Lajjam Rurudu Smastuswaram Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. They were crying in separation. Oh Govinda, oh Madhav, oh Damodar. So when gopis, they were lamenting, what they were telling? They had foretold, gopis had told that, oh, now we are in separation from Krishna, but the women of Mathura will enjoy the association of Krishna. And now the prediction of the gopis had come true. Because Sampashyatam Purusha Bhushana Gatra Lakshmi Sampashyatam, because they personally now saw Purusha Bhushana, the best of the males, the jewel among the men, Krishna. Lakshmi herself is residing on the chest of Krishna. And she abandoned everybody else just to be with Krishna. She wants to have the dust of the feet of Krishna. She is not able to get many times. As the wives of Kalia, they tell, Kasyanubhavasya na deva vidmahe tavangri renum sparashadikara yadavanchaya shri lalana charattapo vihaya kaman shuchiram dhritavrataha. How come this Kalia has got such mercy? Arey, to get the dust of your lotus feet, even Lakshmi is hankering. She is not getting the dust of your lotus feet, and this Kalia has got. He must have performed lots of tapasya in her past life. Therefore, Shukdev Goswami is telling the gopis had made a, prediction, and that prediction came true now. All the Mathura Vasis, they were just overwhelmed by looking at the beauty, the strength, and the boldness of Krishna. So, Krishna, he went back to his encampment and he told to Nanda Maharaj what all happened that day. And Nanda Maharaj, he was completely overwhelmed with anxiety because he was thinking of what these children are doing. Why did I get him here? But Krishna, he ate sweet rice and he went to sleep. Although he knew that Kamsa is planning to kill him next day, still Krishna and Balram, they both slept very nicely without any fear. They were not even troubled by the words of Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj was telling, oh my children, what have you foolishly done today? Kya kiya aaj? Why did you break that bow? Why did you kill the soldiers? Why did I bring both of you here first of all? Nanda Maharaj started chastising Krishna and Balram. But Krishna and Balram went to sleep peacefully. Then, as all this happened, Kamsa, he was in great, great anxiety. He started, seeing so many bad omens. We had heard in the first canto, in the first chapter of this 10th canto, when Krishna was about to take birth, appear in this world, that time also Kamsa started seeing so many things. He was completely Krishna conscious. Asina samvisantishtam bhunjana paryatam mahim chintayano rishikesham apashyat tanmayam jagat. So it is described there that Kamsa, he was completely overwhelmed with the thoughts of Krishna. They were only thinking, Kamsa was only thinking about Krishna. Whatever he was doing, he was thinking about Krishna, either sleeping or eating or anything. Chintayano Rishikesham. He was just thinking and seeing Krishna everywhere. So now, you know, Krishna, he started seeing all the bad, Kamsa started seeing all the bad omens. He looked at his reflection and he could not see his own hand. He saw a hole in his reflection, in his shadow. He saw the inauspicious stars were there in the sky. He could not hear the sound of his own life air. He could not even see his own footprints. So in this way, he was completely overwhelmed. He was dreaming as that he was harassed by the ghost. He was riding on a donkey and somebody was giving him poison. So many things were happening. Yeah. So Krishna was completely overwhelmed. And okay, so that's how Kamsa was completely overwhelmed. He was dreaming of all these things. So as a result, he could not sleep at all. He was just awake whole night. He was not able to sleep. And then next morning came, he got up and then he was engaged in all the arrangements for the, this arena, in the wrestling arena. He was arranging all the wonderful festivals. So Krishna, as he was very nicely taking rest, Kamsa on the other side, he was so very disturbed and anxious. So he employed so many of the men to, worship the sacrificial arena. So many of the instruments were getting sounded. It was very nicely decorated with all the leaves and the flowers and the flags and the ribbons and the garlands. Everything was there in that arena. And then all the city dwellers came, because they had invited everybody. So the city dwellers, everybody started coming to that arena to witness this wrestling competition. All the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, all the ladies, everyone was coming and they came and sat down at their respective places. And Kamsa's pavilion, the dais of Kamsa was very highly placed. And everybody was given a particular place to sit. Kamsa had called Akrura and Vasudev to come and sit in that arena. Kamsa had made a special place for them. Devaki also came and she entered the pavilion which was meant for women, but because Kamsa had made a separate place for Devaki, but she did not want to sit with all the other royal ladies because they were all wives and relatives of Kamsa, and Devaki did not want to sit with them. So she sat with all the women of the Mathura. Kamsa came and he took his seat on the imperial dais. His heart completely trembled with fear. Because whole night he was thinking about Krishna. But just to make the festival very nice, he had arranged all the musical instruments, wonderful dancers, all the wrestlers were entering. All the wrestlers were ornamented. They were wearing wonderful ornaments, garlands, and not only that, you know what these wrestlers were doing? All these musical instruments were getting sounded. And these wrestlers, on top of that, they were slapping their arms. And the sound which was created by the slapping of their arms, it was so very loud, it was distinctly audible. Even though the musical instruments were getting sounded, but still in midst of that, the slapping of the arms of these wrestlers, it was also audible. So that indicated the great strength of the wrestlers. Who all were there? Chanur, Mushtik, Shal, Toshal, Kuta, all these powerful wrestlers were there. Kamsa, he had called Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherd boys, and he had given them a very nice place to sit. So actually, Kamsa, he told Nanda Maharaj, he called Nanda Maharaj, he said, why you did not come to meet me yesterday? You had come 2 days back, but still you did not come. You know, what was the reason? Are you frightened? Are you thinking that I will punish Krishna and Balram because they killed so many of the soldiers and they broke my bow? I am not, anyway sad because of that. Your sons are very powerful. I have heard about their strength. I have just arranged this wonderful competition so that I can also witness the strength of your sons. And then Kamsa, what he did, he sent few of the cowherd men to find Krishna and Balram, because Krishna and Balram, they had in the morning only they had got up and they had left. They were roaming in the city. They did not come directly to this wrestling arena. So Kamsa, he sent few of the cowherd men to go and find these boys. So this is the end of the 42nd chapter. In the 43rd chapter, which is entitled Krishna kills the elephant Kuvalaya field. So Shukdev Goswami continues that Krishna and Balram, as they were roaming in the city of Mathura, they heard the kettle drums, all the various instruments, dundubis, nedu, and all the other things they heard. And they went to the wrestling arena. When they reached the entrance of wrestling arena, there was a very big, powerful elephant which was blocking the entrance. When Krishna he saw this, he understood. So he was preparing himself to fight. So he secured his clothes, he tightened his waist belt. He first of all he took off his shirt. He was wearing a garland and some necklaces. He put that garland or necklace on his shoulder, and his curly locks of hair, which was coming out of his turban, he tucked them inside, and then he took off his uttariya. He put that on his head so that none of the hair should get entangled while fighting. So basically Krishna was preparing to fight. And then Krishna he looked at this elephant driver, because elephant driver was goading this elephant to come in the middle of the path. So Krishna said, "Oh driver, move aside. If you don't move aside, I will send you and your elephant to the place of Yamaraj today." Straightforward. He's giving such strong warning to this elephant keeper. But elephant keeper, he became so very angry, and he goaded his furious elephant. This Kuvalayapid, he was known to be very furious. He was by nature angry, and when Krishna he spoke in such a strong way, so this elephant carrier goaded that elephant, and the elephant charged towards Krishna. He was appearing like a death, Yamraj, time personified. And then, as this Kuvalayapid charged at Krishna, and with great speed he came, and seized Krishna with his trunk. But Krishna, he slipped away. And on top of that, he struck elephant a blow and disappeared within the legs of that elephant. So Krishna was hiding beneath the legs of the elephant, and this elephant was trying to find where is Krishna by the smell. Jiva Goswami describes that although Krishna was doing so many things, but he was doing all this very skillfully, in such a way that none of his clothing, none of his garland was getting disturbed. That is the skill of Krishna. So elephant, this Kolapid, he became so very angry. He then ultimately he caught hold of Krishna again because of his smell. He seized Krishna again. But again, Krishna, came out of the clutches of this elephant. Actually, you know what Krishna was doing? Krishna, he wanted to just play with this elephant for some time. So he was giving a chance to this elephant to catch him, and then he was coming out of the clutches and he was telling, Arey, what kind of strength you have? Just see, I have escaped from your clutches. So he was making fun of the elephant also. And then Krishna, he went behind. He grabbed the tail of Kualapid and he started dragging him. And he dragged 25 bow lengths. Just like a small child drags a calf by a tail, Krishna was dragging this very, very powerful elephant with a speed of a Garuda. And then after some time, he slowed down his speed just to encourage Kualapid. Okay, Kualapid was thinking, oh, I am able to decrease the strength, speed of this Krishna. And as a result, this Krishna was still dragging the tail of elephant, and this elephant was moving left and right, and Krishna was moving on the other side. That's how he was playing with this elephant. And then Krishna left the tail of elephant and came in front and he slapped that elephant and ran away. So Kolapid became very, very angry. Actually, you know what Krishna did? He struck the elephant very lightly because he knew ज़्यादा जोर से मारूंगा तो ये मर ही जाएगा. He will die. And the game will be over. So Krishna wanted to have some more fun. So he struck that elephant very lightly and then he ran away. And this elephant was chasing Krishna. So just to encourage elephant, he slowed down his speed. And then just to add some more fun to it, he just behaved as if he's falling down. So he fell down on the ground so that the elephant would strike him with his tusks. And then Krishna, he immediately got up and ran away from that place. And that the tusks of the elephant, they went right into the ground. And he was completely hurt by that. In this way, Krishna was playing with this elephant. And then this elephant became so very frustrated. And the elephant keeper, he was, enraging this elephant more and more. So then ultimately, Krishna said, okay, enough of this. He came in front. He seized the elephant by his trunk and threw him to the ground. And then he climbed on the elephant and he pulled out one of the tusks of the elephant and he killed that elephant by the tusks of him. So then after all this happened, Krishna, like a warrior, victorious warrior, with a tusk on his shoulder, he was walking. And he entered the wrestling arena. Balram also pulled out another tusk. He was also putting his tusk on the shoulder. Both the brothers, they entered the arena in a very, very powerful way. So this is an epitome of Veera Rasa, which Krishna is displaying here. And all the residents of Mathura, Now they are seeing the beauty of Krishna, forehead covered with perspiration. The blood of Kuvalayapid spread all over the body of Krishna. That was increasing the beauty of Krishna. And as Krishna entered the wrestling arena, he was perceived by various people in various ways. And this is a famous verse, very, very famous verse, which describes Krishna as Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Mallanam Ashanirnidam Narvaro Srinam Smaro Murtiman Gopanam Sojano Tatam Shitibhujam Tastam Swapitro Shishu Mrityu Bhojapate Virada Vidusham Tatvam Param Yoginam Krishnenam Paradevate Vidito Rangam Gatasagrajaha. It is described that so many different types of people were sitting in the arena. There were powerful wrestlers like Chanud and Mystic. They saw Krishna as the most powerful wrestler, like a lightning bolt. Ashani, lightning bolt. It was a Raudra Ras. So there are 12 primary rasas. There are 5 primary and 7 secondary rasas. Nectar of Devotion describes all that. All the 12 rasas were displayed by Krishna simultaneously. Only Krishna can do that. People in this world, they are not satisfied by the relationships because none of the relationship can satisfy. The expectations which a person has cannot be fulfilled by any person of this world. Only Krishna can completely satisfy the expectations of everyone. That's why Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita also that unless one, meditates on me, he cannot be happy. He cannot, and an unhappy person can never be satisfied. So all the wrestlers, they saw Krishna as a lightning bolt. The men of Mathura, they saw him as the best of the males. It was Vismayras. Strinam, Smaro Murtiman, all the ladies of Mathura, they saw him as Cupid personified. That was Madhurya Ras or Shringara Ras. And there were the cowherd men, the boys, they were thinking, oh, ye to apna hi friend hai. Gopa naam Swajanu. It was, and all the cowherd boys, they were laughing and they were enjoying. It was Hasyaras and Sakhyaras. Asatam Shiti Bhujam. There were impious rulers. They saw him as the chastiser. That was a Viryaras. And Shastam Swapitro Shishu. And Vasudev and Devaki and Nanda and all the elderly cowherd men, they saw Krishna as their own son. It was Vatsalyaras. Mrityu Bhojapate. Kamsa, he saw Krishna as death personified. It was Bhayanakras. Virada Vidusham. There were some unintelligent men who saw Krishna as the Supreme Lord's universal form. It was Bibhatsaras. Vrishninam, Tattvam Param Yoginam. There were some yogis also sitting in the arena. They saw Krishna as the absolute truth. Shantaras. Vrishninam Paradevate Vidito. And the Vrishnis, they saw Krishna as their worshipable Lord. It was Dasyaras. That's how Krishna simultaneously he displayed so many various types of rasas. Only Krishna can do it. So therefore, if we want to be happy and satisfied, we should not just keep hankering for satisfaction by relationships of this world, because by nature it is the relationships of this world, they cannot give satisfaction. Only the relationship with Krishna can give complete satisfaction. because Krishna is Akhila Rasamrit Murti. So when Kamsa, he saw these, and these two brothers, they were completely indefeatable, invincible. So now, when Mathura Vasis, they are looking at Krishna, what was their reaction? So Krishna was wearing beautiful garlands, ornaments, and their garments were also very beautiful. They were dressed like very extraordinary actors, and they were looking very, very brilliant and effulgent. And all the Mathuravasis, when they saw Krishna and Balram, their minds were completely overwhelmed. They were completely absorbed looking at the beauty of Krishna. They started drinking the beauty of Krishna with their eyes. Pibanta iva chakshurbyam lihanta iha jihvaya jigranta iva nasabhyam shlishanta iva bahubhihi ऊचु परस्परं ते वै यथा दृष्टं यथा श्रुतं तद्रूप गुण माधुर्य प्रागल्भ्य स्मारिता इव. Now, how the residents of Mathura, they were drinking the beauty of Krishna with all the senses. They were drinking with their eyes, they were drinking with their uh, tongue, they were licking the beauty of Krishna with their tongue. Cannot even imagine. Jigranta, they were smelling the fragrance which was coming from their body with their nostrils. Shishyanta iva bahubhi, and they were embracing Krishna and Balram with their arms. Of course, mentally, in their mind, they were embracing Krishna and Balram. And then they started talking among themselves. Uchu parasparam te vai. They are talking with one another, looking at Krishna and Balram. They were describing the features of Krishna and Balram. Tadrup guna madhurya paragalbhya smarita iva. They reminded of the Lord's beautiful character, beauty, charm, and bravery. What they were talking? 8 verses describe what were the talks of Mathuravasis. Some of the men said, "Oh, this Krishna and Balram, they must be the expansions of Lord Narayan." Other people said, "Oh, do you see this child?" They're pointing. He is the son of Devaki. He was brought to Gokul by his father Vasudev. And there he was staying for 10 years. Now he has come. And you know what he did? He killed Putana. He killed the whirlwind demon Trinavarta. This Trinavarta was so very powerful. And Krishna just killed him. And the small Krishna, when he was a child, he brought the two Yamal Arjuna trees down. And along with that, he killed Shankachud, Keshi, Dhenuka, and all the similar demons. And you know what else he did? He saved all the cowherd men and the cows from the deadly poison of Kalia. He drove away Kalia from Yamuna. And then he destroyed the pride of Indra by lifting the mountain Govardhan. For 7 days and 7 nights, he was lifting Govardhan on his little finger. And when gopis, they would see the beauty of Krishna's face, they would get rid of all the anxiety. Yasya ananam makara kundala charu karna bhrajat kapola subhagasta vilasahasam nityotsavam na tatripo drishabhi pibantyo naryo narashamudita kupita nimesha. All the Brajvasis, they would criticize the creator, chastise the creator. What type of body you have made? Why you have made these eyelids? We are not able to see Krishna continuously. The beauty of Krishna, which is, having such wonderful features, curly locks of hair, he's having a shark-shaped earrings, beautiful ears, and he has a very shining effulgent cheeks. We are not able to see that continuously. So in this way, the Mathura Vasis they are describing. And then they said, it is said that under his protection, under Krishna's protection, now the Yadu dynasty will flourish even more. Again, this Yadu dynasty will attain the glory as it was earlier. And this Balram, then they point towards Balram. He's the elder brother of Krishna. And he had also killed so many demons. He killed Pralambasur, Vatsasur, Bakasur, and other demons. So, if you hear the list, actually Balram did not kill Vatsasur, he did not kill Bakasur. Then why they are telling like this? So Chakravarti Thakur describes, actually, that's what happens, right? So when the news spreads, many times the news gets muddled. So by the time the news of killing Vatsa and Baka came to Mathura, it was little distorted. So it is described in the purport. That is what happens in modern newspapers also. This tendency is seen in modern newspapers also. The news is something else, and by the time it reaches the people, it becomes distorted. So that tendency is coming since then. It is natural. So now, Krishna and Balram, they entered the arena. Chanur, he starts talking to Krishna and Balram. Because Chanur, he could not tolerate the praise of Krishna and Balram, so he had to stop it. So he came forward and he started telling, O son of Nanda, O Ram, you two are very, very powerful wrestlers. And therefore, king has called you here because king wants to see your strength himself. Actually, you know what he is doing? By calling Krishna, now Chanur is addressing Krishna and Balram. And he is telling that, O son of Nanda, O Ram, why he is calling him as son of Nanda and Ram and not as Krishna? Because, he's thinking that, oh, this Krishna, he is from a lower caste. He is just a cowherd man. So that's why he's calling as son of Nanda. And then this Ram, nobody knows his birth. So that's why he's trying to, demean the position of Krishna and Balram. That he's calling in this way. And then Chanur, he says that actually those who satisfy the king, those citizens who satisfy the king, they get the greatest of the benefits. But those who fail, they get the opposite result. Krishna may say, but we are just cowherd boys. We don't know wrestling. We are just engaged in herding cows. Chanur replies, actually, you are very expert in wrestling. You know where you learned? When you are herding cows, you are doing wrestling with your friends in the forest. That's how you have become such a powerful and wonderful wrestler. So therefore, let's do what the king wants. And if you do that, everybody will be pleased. Because if the king is pleased, everybody is pleased. So when Krishna heard this, he also, agreed. He liked to wrestle, so he welcomed that challenge. And Krishna said that actually we are forest dwellers, and we are also subjects of the Bhoja king. We are subjects of Kamsa. So therefore, we must satisfy the desire of King Kamsa. And actually, we are young boys, and we should always play with equals. You are very powerful wrestlers, and we are small children. So therefore, the wrestling should go on between equals, so that the audience should not get affected by irreligion. So actually, you know what Krishna is telling? He's telling, oh fools, we will not play with you. You are not in equal strength like us. We will play with our cowherd boys. We'll play with our friends. They have more strength than you. So that's what they're telling. And then they say, but we will engage in fight at your insistence. And if you get killed, then don't blame me. Don't blame us. because we are not ready to fight, we will not be responsible for your death. So that is what they are telling. So actually this Chanur and Mushtik, they were very, very powerful wrestlers. And in the name of wrestling, they had killed so many of the other wrestlers. Actually, in a wrestling match, the opponent should not be killed. He should be just defeated. But Chanur and Mushtik, they had defeated so many of the wrestlers and killed them. If somebody dies in the battle, he goes to heaven. But if somebody dies in wrestling match, they don't get a higher destination. So therefore, Krishna was very angry on Chanur and Mushtik because of that. So therefore, he took that challenge. And then Chanur said, "Oh Krishna, you are not child. You are not really a child, and you are not even a young man. You are very, very powerful. Neither is Balram. You both are very powerful. Because we have heard how you have just killed a very, very powerful elephant. Kuvalaya was having the strength of thousands of elephants, and you have killed Kuvalaya like a plaything. You are very, very powerful. You are most powerful wrestlers. So therefore, it is nothing unfair about it. So, O Krishna, you show your prowess against me, and Balram will fight with Mushtik." So that is what was decided, and then the fight will begin. That we'll see in the next class. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Krishna Bhagwan ki jai.
Jai.
Actually, there's a question. Was Nand Maharaj aware that Krishna had to fight? No, he was not aware. He was just thinking that he will go and see the uh, ceremony of the worshipping of the Buddha and then pay the taxes and come back. But this was not told to him. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.